Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finals. It is myself, Cutlex, versus HREG. I am the second seed, and HREG is the first seed, so he'll be going first. And we've got a real doozy of a match for you today. As you can tell from the draft picks that I pulled up, we have some real juggernauts available to smash into each other. And I guess we'll get right into it. I drafted a bunch of very powerful monsters with diverse strategies, but also general utility. How much can anyone really complain about having drafted Rampede, Tanuki, and Reduga all together with support pieces from Ascendant and Kami and Dodo, with support players like Azarac, Spinner, Brutus, Grulu? The, almost every single one of my monsters is extremely powerful within its own niche and has a ton of flexibility to even be good outside of that. Even our little penguin friend, Shockhopper, I could maybe pick him with Grulu, with Azarac, with Rampede, who has Death Blow, and we could do debuffs if we really wanted to. But no, really, it looks like our main focus here is going to be around the Glory Core. But, to build up around that, really got to look at HREG's picks. And HREG has a bunch of super powerful support monsters that have been my bane in this tournament. You'll see that he has Drakazul and Salahammer and Monk, who were the bane of my existence when I played against Marsh a few videos ago. Along with that, he has Eagle, who is really brutal and extremely powerful, alongside Caraglow, who's going to charge up that Eagle to do unholy things to me. Beyond that, he's got Dracomer if he wants to run dragons with Changeling, who is a dragon and also has sidekick support. So he has a bunch of sidekick monsters, as well as Caraglow, who's super strong as a charge buff monster, and Bard, who can remove blind stacks and has a really strong auras to go along with monsters. So I'm fully expecting to see Drakazul, Salahammer, Caraglow, Monk, and Eagle on this team. I'm not sure who is going to fill out the remaining pieces. He could be running Changeling for another sidekick support. He could be running Dracomer for a full offense, or maybe as another sweeper. Maybe even Kongamato, who, alongside um, Drakazul, its supremacy is going to allow these dragons to get a bunch of charge stacks. So that's sort of what I'm working with. And the idea here is that Eagle and Salahammer and Caraglow all share a water weakness. The dragons share a physical weakness, which we're going to be set on. We have a bunch of physical damage. So we're definitely going to be bringing Spinner and Kami, who both have strong and in some sense, in Kami's case, an undodgeable uh, Aqua Blast, or I forget what it's called, but it's they're water attacks. So we're gonna bring those two along. We're gonna bring Rampede along, and then for our support mons, we're going to bring Reduga. And since I'm going second, I'm actually not gonna bring Tanuki. I am gonna bring the monster that may be the best monster in the game when you're going second, which is Azarac. Now, the one downside here is that because I do have Tanuki, that HREG probably is going to be ready for the blind, but I'm none of his supports really want to be carrying Purifying Mace. They're crit supports, so I might be able to catch him sleeping and have my Azarac do some work with his blind. So that's going to be our strategy. We're going to run Azarac and Reduga and Ascendant as our supports along with our DPS, and we're going to see how it goes. All right. So This is not really the team I was expecting. We've got Toxicus here, who is a sidekick monster, and it looks like we've got DPS dragons. So we're gonna run the concealed core, who are gonna have a bonus dodge on turn 1. And we've got our blind stack out, and it looks like Toxicus indeed has Purifying Mace. So that's a bummer, but as you can tell from all those dodges, the concealed is doing work for Spinner. And now we're gonna get to work. Hopefully spreading some of these buffs around with the Enlightened on those 2 monsters. And I'm checking right now on Frost Pierce to see what we're gonna do here. And I really want to kill that Salahammer. The DPS Drakazul is going to be more fragile than the support, but we're going to go ahead and remove some of his buffs with Azarek anyway. Steal him. Thank you so much. And now we're going to see if we can, yes, with no problems, with the cold ultimate on Spinner, we just delete that Salahammer. But now we've got some more buffs coming in. There's a bunch of sidekick going on. And the natural evasion on Spinner is not enough to save it from the undodgeable ultimate from Dracomer. So now I'm looking to see which of these guys is going to come in here now, because Dracomer and Drakazul both have magic attacks. But we pick Rampede. Rampede is going to have an undodgeable attack that is Zul's going to be weak to. So now I'm looking to see here with how poorly... I really thought Ascendant was going to add more than 2 buffs to Rampede with that. I should have used a helping hand, I guess. But even with that, just 2 buffs, none of them as attack buffs. Rampede takes almost all the life out of Drakazul, and I'm checking the bleed now. Yeah, with 3 burn and that bleed, I'm pretty confident that Drakazul is going to die on its own. So now, with Azarek, we're going to do some more buff control, and we're going to say, alright, thank you for all of these buffs. You got 1 of them to Rampede. Thank you for the barrier. And now the kitty cat comes in. Caraglow comes in, is building up a ton of buffs and combo, but it's not enough with Dracomer having gotten a big dispel from Azarek. It survives the counterattack. So now we're going to Helping Hand on my DPS, and we're going to take a look at our damage previews. It's looking like Dracomer doesn't have any dodge. Physical dodge, so it's looking quite vulnerable to an AoE attack. And I'm trying to decide now, yeah, we're going to ship it. We're going to get maximum combo, we're going to steal a bunch of these buffs off of these ancillary mon. And hey, look, an AoE. It's not like I have a traumatic history with using AoEs, so I looked at the shred. I thought, yeah, that's probably reasonable. He's almost certainly not going to dodge it. I have 3 crit buffs. It's probably going to be fine. You know what? Trauma. We're just going to ship it with a single target. We're not going to take any chances here. We're in a pretty good spot. We don't want to mess that up with variance. But now Monk comes in, and Monk is very strong here because Monk has Combat Guard, which is going to make these mons even more tanky because of the buffs that they already have a bunch of. Their crit and sidekick buffs. But these are built for support. Monk doesn't have a whole lot of damage buffs on him yet, so Rampede stands more or less unscathed, and I feel like I've taken this game down. We have to kill these remaining monsters. But I'm remembering now that Caraglow has Revive, so we need to kill Caraglow, otherwise we just have this pointless exercise going on. Okay, but now Kerglo just barely lives, which has been my bane, but it does have 2 debuffs on it and all that bleed and a wound stack, so it should die to that. And I'm looking here now with my Ascendant, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to try to knock off some of those debuffs. But no, we're just going to heal up. We're going to save our charge just in case. And that should be enough. Yeah. HREG throws it in. And I am pretty happy with how my team turned out, so I think I just run it back. I don't think I make any adjustments. And you can see that HREG has brought in Mole Bear instead of Toxicus. And now I'm realizing why he took Mole Bear. Mole Bear has multi-barrier, so now he's looking at doing a super barrier comp. But instead of attacking with Dracozul to add barrier, he attacks with Mole Bear. And he's got 3 barriers on everything, which is like objectively pretty good, but relatively for what I'm afraid of on this team, that's extremely tame. So now I'm trying to decide the best way to get buffs on my team. I used the healing wave. I probably just should have used a helping hand. But we're going to dispel some of these buffs on Salahammer so that we can Frost Pierce him to death. And there we go. Look at that. We've got a full almost get. Oh, wait. We did have a full kill. And Mole Bear serves his purpose. This is honestly a real tragedy. I was happy to let Mole Bear sit there for that entire game. But, you know, Tauntmon's going to taunt. And, as a response, we are in not good shape here. Because now this team is gonna, yeah, that Dracozul already has 6 barrier on it. So we're not really looking so hot in being able to take down that Dracozul. So we're gonna put some buffs on Rampede and we're gonna see what Rampede's gonna be able to do. The AoE is not looking so hot. We didn't get a whole lot of buffs. The lava stream is also not looking so good. So we're thinking we need to build a bunch of combo. And maybe I should have been more focused with what I was going for there. Maybe I should have gone more directly for the Dracozul, and then I could have used the ultimate on him. But instead, we go with the AoE, which is enough to bring down the Dracomer and severely injure everybody else. Now, with Kerglo is going to be able to heal them, but Kerglo didn't get to put a bunch of buffs on it like I was expecting. But Zul, with the second attack, takes down Azarak, who is wounded, but even with the 44 charge stacks, the Salahammer couldn't bring down my Rampede. And I'm thinking we're in a pretty even spot right now. It looks a lot like if I had 9 more mana, I'd have Lava Stream up that I could take that Dracozul out with no problem. But because Rampede has perpetual mana issues, and I didn't get enough crits last turn, we might have to make some different compromises. And Reduga, trying to build combo and buffs, gives 1 buff to Rampede, which is just absolutely awful. So now we're looking at this cuts to see if we want to roll the dice and try to take down that Dracozul. And we've got it. So we get there. Now we're looking at this very strong support lineup. And I'm hoping that Monk doesn't have a magic attack. But of course he does. And all the dodges come at the end. So it didn't really give us hope. But we're in trouble now. Because those monsters all have a bunch of buffs on them, and it's going to be really tough to try to bring them down. Now, Kami is very strong, so Kami does have a reasonable chance of being able to do this. And I'm looking at my Ascendant, because my Ascendant has a bunch of charge stacks and is fully buffed up now. So we're looking at trying to get some more buffs, but we've got 9 combo and almost no buffs got added by that Reduga. So Reduga's not really helping us. And I'm thinking, all right, Kami should be able to take this. Oh, wait, no. Kami got 1 buff through all of that. No charge stacks. And with all of the barrier that's on the kitty cat, there's just nothing there. So I really misallocated how much power Kami was going to have. I really thought Kami was going to end up with a bunch of buffs through those other monsters attacking. In retrospect, I guess I should have attacked with Kami first, and then at least he would have added the combo, and then maybe Ascendant could have taken down that cat. But Ascendant can't deal with dodge, so maybe it wouldn't have worked anyway. I may have been cooked there because of Kami not being able to get buffed up fast enough. But we're still acting like we're in this. We're thinking, okay, my monsters all have a ton of buffs. We've got Reduga, who can build up a ton of buffs with its buff mastery, and they both have aging. So I might still be able to be in this if I can get enough power put together to try to get through that Caraglow. But I did foolishly attack the Caraglow with Cold, which then makes me weak to the main attack of Salahammer, and we almost lost our Phoenix Affinity because of it. So now we're going to target this Monk instead, and that's going to be an unpunishable change there because neither Salahammer nor Monk have an air attack. So I thought. So now I am in trouble because we've lost our Phoenix Affinity. We do have our first Infinity stack. So I'd say I'm going to check here to see if there's anything that I think I can kill. That Monk is looking like it's my best target. But we have to kill this Caraglow if we're going to defeat anything for good. When Caraglow has 42% dodge, it's just absurd. And it feels like it's about 80. Now, watching this video, it looks like it's probably closer to 50, but, you know, at the time, it's really not much of a comfort. But now, we're cooked here. These monsters did not have enough in the tank, even with the Infinity, so we're going to pitch it. And we're going to make our first change. We're going to throw Azarac out, and we're going to bring in Tanuki, because I'm thinking that Azarac has not been able to keep up with cleansing the opponent's buffs. So we're going to use Tanuki to try to go into the mid game here to give ourselves some blind and some buffs and some healing. And it's already looking good. You know, who knew that a standard line would be good here? I decided to just YOLO it on that Monk because I don't want to deal with Combat Guard. And now we get to see the unholiness of Caraglow. 17 combo, and I don't know, 12 buffs? Something absurd gets put on Dracomer, and I'm feeling like we might be in trouble here. But instead of trying to take down Rampede, he's going for Reduga, Which to me, I'm happy with this because Raduga was going to survive that regardless. So now he's got Phoenix Affinity. We've got a full restore on him, so we're going to get him back up to pretty solid spot here. And now we're going to get another kill. I'm thinking that we can kill Salahammer here, and we're going to be able to get rid of his improved barrier nonsense. And we're just going to AoE it. And look, oh yeah, that's real nice. And I'm thinking, okay, this is looking good. Oh wait, the cat just heals everybody to full with no problem. Gives a bunch of buffs and some charge. This could be a problem. Oh yeah, making the bird weak to fire may have been a miscalculation. But that's okay. We've still got Tanuki. I cannot use Imitate on himself because he used his ultimate last turn. Check to see if there's anything spicy I could copy, but no, we're just going to use the standby. And we're going to check our buffs on Rampede to see what we're doing here. It looks like we've got reasonable previews on the severe cuts. We should be able to take Bard down, if nothing else. We really want to kill that Dracomer, but we're going to take what kill we can get. We're going to get rid of some of these buffs that the cat has been trying real hard to apply. Hope we get some combo. It was really, really mediocre. And once again, you're seeing the mediocre management of mana on Rampede because somehow, despite those buffs, he has no channel. So now I can't use Lava Stream. And if I had Lava Stream, I could 100% kill that Dracomer. But instead, we're going to have to take the kill on Bard, get rid of his passives, and allow these 2 DPS dragons to go ham on me. I have 2 DPS still in the wings, so maybe we should be okay. Rampede is not enough to survive against that ult from a fresh Drake-Azul. So now it's up to Kami again, and we're going to try to put some buffs on him directly this time. Look at that. We got some charge on him, we've got a barrier on him, and we've got a might on him. So Kami's going to be looking pretty good. We throw the imitate on here because we're not going to do that. We take one check at the ultimate. We take a look at that heavy punch, and we blast down Drake-Azul. No problem. We've got this match, right? Oh, wait. So I really wish that I could say that that was clever. I was just trying to reset the buffs on that Drake-Azul. But no, I just straight forgot about revive. So now we could be in trouble here because am I just locked in this death loop where I'm going to have to knock down that Drake-Azul over and over? No. Kami has 34 charge stacks, which means that with no blind on him and a little bit more combo, he's going to take down Karaglow no problem. And with Spinner and the wings, we should have enough firepower, even if Kami goes down to break up this match. But regardless, we're still going to throw some damage and some dispelling on that Drake-Azul. And that should be enough. Looks like he's going to attack my Kami here to see what kind of spice he's got. And does he have enough in the tank? No. So we squeak out another win there. And now I think I've shipped the exact same thing again. My opponent, it looks like his team is the same as last time. He's got that Bard in the back with all of these extremely strong monsters, and he's leading with his dragons. So I lead with my Spinner because I want to abuse that concealed so that I can keep a DPS alive in case he brought Karaglow to supercharge someone and attack. But it looks like he's just trying to set up barrier. And with his turn 1, he's got 4 barrier on Salahammer and not so much on the rest of the dragons, which is really tedious to me because I really want to kill Salahammer. And I'm looking at these previews, and I'm realizing now that Spinner without charge support really doesn't do all that much damage. He's got a might. He doesn't have a crit buff. And I have Frost Pierce, which gets dodged one too many times. And I'm not ready to concede at this point, but I feel like the momentum on this match is now shifted away from me in a way that I may not be able to recover. Between Salahammer, Zool, and Dracomer, those guys have the potential to have... I think Zool has the potential of having like 5 or 6 barrier on him. And we've lost our Spinner, which honestly may be for the best. And we're going to use Raduga here to knock down Salahammer on the second turn, leaving my Rampede available to hopefully hope that that's a lying preview. And we're going to see if we can bring this down with the ultimate. We can't. We do an admirable job of almost bringing it down, but Rampede needed a might stack to finish the job, and he didn't have it. So it looks like we're going to lose Rampede. Yeah, we lose him to AoE, and look at all those extra buffs it gets to put on there because of Sidekick support. Alright, so now we are fighting uphill. We have 1 DPSer left. And Tanuki is not going to add any charge. He added some reasonably strong buffs. Not a lot of them, but reasonably strong buffs. Tommy has the conversion for that crit buff for static. I forget what it's called. Static glory, maybe? So those glory buffs are good on Tommy. And now we're going to hope that we can take this thing down. And we can't bring down one of the DPS. All that we can do is kill this Caraglow. And yeah, the Singleton Shield Burst, that's not going to be useful for us in this Kami. But we take down Caraglow. I think I probably should have used the water move because it gives him another might stack. But, you know, I made a mistake there. And we're going to see now, maybe Kami can live through this. Maybe? No, nope. There's just too much combo from the Sidekick support. So now we're really in trouble. We're down to all of our supports, but, you know, there are worse supports to be stuck with if you're stuck with the support line. We have Raduga, who's got a bunch of age stacks up on him now. And it's looking like we theoretically could strike that monk down. But it looks like we didn't quite get there. Raduga underperforms its preview, mostly because of all of Monk's dodge. I think he still had concealment that turn. And now it's just going to be brutal because Monk's going to have 10,000 buffs. And they're all going to keep him alive between Combat Guard and just the giant stack of Barrier. So, back to Tanuki's toughness there. I used full restore for buffs on Ascendant last turn. It's looking now like that was a dumb decision. But even with all that combo, they couldn't bring down Tanuki. So we're going to heal Tanuki back up. And we're going to take another look here at what we can do to Monk. And the previews really aren't that bad. We almost, like, if we had a full restore on Tanuki and I could have used Monk to attack there, Monk may have went down. Instead, we're going to have to take the counterattack here, and that tackle that reduces the damage reduction is enough. And now Tanuki's gone. So now I still have two strong aging monsters that once Infinity kicks in, I might be able to take these guys down. So we're not quite ready to throw in the towel yet. And we underperformed this time, and now it's looking pretty bad. So my opponent is going to get to full send here on Reduga, and I don't like my odds on this. We are going to get an Infinity stack next turn, but and we should survive until then. But I think this Reduga is going to be in bad shape. If it still has its Phoenix Affinity, we're going to be doing well. Yeah, just barely it knocks it down into its Phoenix Affinity. So now we're in a real bad shape because I cannot attack with my Monk. If I could attack with my Monk, or my Ascendant, then maybe this changes things. But, you know, Monk just has 70% dodge, so it doesn't ultimately matter that much. Now we're doomed. With the Infinity stack, maybe if we had killed Monk, it would have reduced their damage enough that we could have survived the attack back, but I don't think so. Even on the second attack, he was bringing down Reduga. So I think we could have won this game if I had made different choices. I'm not really that good with Ascendant. I've always had DPS Ascendant underperform for me, but I think now that Ascendant should have been sitting there building up charge stacks. But, you know, live and learn. I'm sure it won't be relevant in the next few games, right? So now I've given into darkness. I've decided that Ascendant, or that Tanuki does not make enough combo and doesn't build damage fast enough, and Azarac, it does not deal with the buffs effectively enough, and I've given into darkness, and I have selected Brutus and Dodo. And I've done this with one goal in mind. I have rebuilt my Kami to have a protect, and we've put in Dodo, and we're going to meme. We're going to meme power focus, and we're going to count on taunt carrying me through. Now I'm looking right now because I didn't expect Karaglow to come out first, and I was thinking I might do a double punch to kill Karaglow, but if I missed, the game is going to be over. Or if I don't get the kill, the game is over. Instead, I go with the meme plan. And now, because taunt checks before the protect, I have two chances for taunt to go off here. And I feel like if I get taunt to go off, I'm for sure going to get Brutus to my next turn. Okay, so the taunt didn't go off this first time. It's fine. I still feel like, oh, we get the taunt. Fist taunt. Now, what do I do with my hands? The first thing I do is push Joust so that I don't accidentally use the ultimate on Dodo. And now I'm looking at these previews. That ram charge is pretty nice, but it doesn't quite get there. And I check and I look. I didn't realize that Kami doesn't have an AoE other than his ultimate. And my brain just short circuits. I'm thinking now, I don't know how to use that. I should have used the ultimate on Kami and then the AoE, the Flurry of Blows here on Brutus, but I forgot that I gave Brutus the last level of Flurry of Blows, and it would have been devastating. Instead, I'm thinking, okay, I've been punished severely in the past for using AoEs. We're going to just take 2 kills. If we have basically guaranteed 2 kills here, and I'm stressing out so hard trying to decide what to do. I'm thinking I need to kill this dragon. I can brace him down and kill his next DPS this turn. Because how could he do it twice? He can't do it twice without his ultimate. Oh, wait. He just gets 15 heals, full barrier, and about 10 other buffs off of a single helping hand. And second turn, DPS Zool one taps my Brutus. I thought he was going to kill Kami here. I thought the game was over. So now I'm a bit on tilt because I don't understand how Karaglow is outputting this number of buffs. You guys, in the comments, let me know. Is this what Caraglow does for you? Because I've never been able to get Caraglow to do this for me. But right now we're on tilt. We're trying to figure out exactly what to do here. I bring in Ascendant. We buff up my Kami. We use the ultimate on Dodo to get Kami to a good spot. I forgot that, we weren't going to have the AoE, but the AoE wasn't really the goal here. The goal here is to kill Drakazul. If we can kill Drakazul now, we're 5-3. All of his DPS are dead, and there's no way that this Salahammer is going to be able to take out both of my DPSs before I can wreck him. And it turns out I underestimated Salahammer. He easily removes Kami. And now we're looking at what we need to do here with this Rampede. Rampede's broken. He does so much damage. We're going to be fine. We're going to be able to take out that Caraglow no problem. We're going to go ahead. We're going to jam this Helping Hand on here. We're going to get a bunch of buffs. We got a Might stack. Would have been better would have been good if we had gotten a crit stack, but we didn't. And I'm looking at this preview and I'm so confused. Why is Rampede's preview so small? And then I realized that Caraglow has 5 stacks of improved barrier. And I'm realizing that we're in trouble. So now I'm looking at Shred. Like, the only way we're going to get in this is if we can kill that... if we can kill the Bard and weaken everything else. We've got this. This preview's looking fine. And we missed the second crit. And Bard lives. And I am once again punished for using an AoE. And now, I think I've lost this game. This game is still winnable. Let me put this out there. But I think that we've lost. And then my Rampede gets exact seed by Salahammer after another obscene ultimate from Caraglow. And now I'm fully on tilt. I am not thinking correctly at all at this point. I'm thinking I have to kill that Caraglow, and I push the damage button that is going to do that best with Reduga, and right about now I've realized that by doing that, I have left Reduga open to Salahammer's main undodgeable attack, and I feel so foolish. I have just thrown away Reduga's Phoenix Affinity. Yeah, like, there's just no question. And now I'm trying to figure out what is my plan to get into this game, because now there is no way to kill Bard, and you wouldn't even want to because he'll just get revived. And I'm trying to decide, how the hell am I going to kill this Caraglow? So I'm thinking, okay, I guess we need to we need to try to chip the damage down on Caraglow so that Caraglow heals itself and is not putting the charge stacks on Salahammer. And I'm thinking, that's weird. Why did only one thing get dispelled off of Caraglow? So I'm really losing a bunch of my sidekick, my bonus sidekick procs here. You see, I didn't really dispel that much off of him with that one either. But it's okay. We're trying to dispel the barrier and the spell shield buffs, and we got the agility buffs, yay, for all of our physical attacks, and we removed one barrier. So, all right, we're moving in the correct direction. But, oh, wait. The game decides that the barrier I removed is the one that Salahammer can add with his improved buffing, so it just gets added right back. And now I'm looking at Sonic Wave because I'm thinking, okay, if I use Sonic Wave, then it can put weakness up, and if it puts a weakness up on Salahammer, that'll help me. And then I realized that Bard has the Curse Breaker, and it just will go away. So I'm thinking now, okay, that's got to be my biggest combo builder. And then I'm looking at that 7 combo, and I'm so confused. Dodo has 4 sidekick. I thought Dodo had improved, the sidekick support. And then I decide that apparently it doesn't have that. So now for the rest of the game, I'm operating under the assumption that Dodo doesn't have this sidekick support. And that really colors my decisions for the moves that I'm using for combo. But we've now made it to infinity. And this is where I'm thinking now I've got my two guys that have aging and infinity. We're going to be able to take down Caraglow if we play our cards right here. So we've got, I'm looking at this Feather Hurricane. That's going to be my big move for combo because none of the ults on them are going to help me. And I'm looking at these, and it looks like we have a reasonable preview here. I'm thinking I should wait for one more infinity stack, and then I decide no, there's no way I'm going to survive back to my turn. That Sallyhammer with 2 infinity stacks is going to break something. And we get 20 combo. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, I really should wait to attack with Monk, but I'm thinking I should wait and see what the preview looks like. And the preview just looks like garbage. So I go back to Spark Shower, and I hope that we make it back to our turn. We put a bunch of damage on Caraglow. It's got to heal itself. We're going to hope that these healing actions don't add enough combo to give Sallyhammer enough. And he goes straight for Dodo and exact sees Dodo. This is, I think, the 4th monster now that he's killed with exact seize damage, with the perfect amount of combo, the perfect number of attacks. And I'm just feeling so defeated right now. I'm thinking there's still a chance that we can take this thing down. If I manage to dispel all of its barrier stacks, it can't add them back because there's no multi-barrier monster out there, but they just won't come off. I got all of the agility buffs again, but Sallyhammer exact sees his 5th monster, and the game is over. But Raduga is not ready to give up on the championship yet. It gives one last defiant attack into Caraglow, who dodges, I don't know, 80% of those attacks, because Caraglow, that's just what it does. And that'll do it. Congratulations to HREG for bringing this down, overcoming a 5-3 deficit there in that last game, playing to all of his outs extremely well, capitalizing on all of the, I would say, many mistakes that I made in that game, and he sealed it up. This was an extremely fun match to play. A bit frustrating at times. I think the biggest slops I'll throw out is in that last game. I meant to put a counter up, but I think I got one taunt off of Dodo that entire game. It was a very important taunt, and I think Dodo was disappointed in how I used it, and so he just gave up. But if I had gotten another taunt at any point in that game, I seal that game up. That game was an extremely fun, close game. The entire game, I felt like I was one turn away from sealing that game up. But Caraglow just out of its mind was applying buffs, getting HREG back into the fight instantly and swinging back. So a lot of fun, a great tournament. Once again, congratulations to HREG, the champion. Congrats to our other competitors. Thank you, everybody, for playing with me. All of my matches in this tournament were fantastic. I look forward to the next one. Thank you, all the organizers, for running this, and the community at large. You guys are great, and it's a pleasure to play with you guys. Cheers.